Maing adlaw Cagayan de Oro, maing adlaw Mindanao, lakip na sa mga Cagayanon gawas sa nasod, maing adlaw kaninyong tanan og welcome dinhi sa Diskarting Pinoy. Kini ang programa nga maghatag bili sa matag Pilipino agi sa ilang mga talento ug sa ilang mga kahibalo. Ug karon alang sa atong pilot episode, atong makauban ng usa ka Cagayanon nga nahimo ng garbo sa tanan, labi na sa natad sa pagluto og negosyo, lakip na usab ang natad sa pagka-nurse didto sa laing nasod. Atong makauban karon live didto gikan didto sa Bronx, New York, USA. Please welcome on Diskarting Pinoy, Chef Eddie Chauco. Chef,
Yes.
kamusta?
Kumusta? I'm
Yes.
good. Mhm.
So kamusta ang atong kinabuhi diya karon?
My man, kaluy sa Diyos, it's cold,
Mhm.
pero ganahan mo tas kabugnaon kaysa sa kainiton sa panahon.
Okay,
So,
okay.
so far so good. Yeah, can't
Okay.
complain.
So mga higala, si Chef Eddie Chauco, as we all know, siya ang owner sa atong well-known kaayo nga Pots and Pans before dinha sa May Soria. Of course, he's fond of cooking. He's a really a great chef dinhi sa Cagayan de Oro. Ug nag-explore siya, iyang gi-extend ang knowledge, dili lang din dili appeal sa chef. How's things been doing? We've been seeing a lot of shopaws lately and mites.
Well, well, I guess I'm trying to get back to my first love, which is cooking and baking. And at the same time, way back, if you remember, I won a national competition sa Siopaw. That was way back 1983, I think.
Mhm.
While I was still young and single and innocent.
And vibrant.
So, yes, and I'm still
Okay.
vibrant until now.
Okay.
So what happened is, so when I came back, I thought like I would want to go back to baking. So
Mhm.
karon akong gibuhat is gibalik na akong siopaw dire and it just went boom. So buyag. I'm really thankful sa atong Ginoo nga gitagaan po ko niyang chance to explore that possibility.
So can we look back like can you take us Pots?
Oh yeah, it started in 1976 way back with my
Okay.
sister. Actually, it's the owner is my sister, si Gloria, the late
Okay.
Gloria Di Chauco Martinez. She started it all, and we became a household name, I would say. We have all the VIPs and the big names, in Cagayan de Oro, coming to our little shop, which is only like a 6-table area inside Juancia Enterprises,
Yeah.
which is now Centro 1850. But we started there and it just went bigger and better. But then sadly, my sister passed away in 1989 and I had to take over while I was in New York. So I had to come home and kind of continue it both traveling dire dito and eventually stayed there for a while. Kaya I got
Okay.
married, had kids, and now Pots and Pans is, I think, for people who are like, I would probably say 35, 30 and above, they would remember the name. But for those below those, unless their parents would tell them, they would have a very vague idea. But when they started telling them like, oh, he did the cake for you way back when you were like how many years old? Makalingaw og tanaw kay mga ulitaw dalaga na kaayo, and then some of them are even married. I mean, a lot of them are married.
Is this a family passion?
Let's just say I was told that my maternal grandmother is a good cook, but then I never had the real chance of eating whatever she had done. Kay, she's been busy with with the business before in Camiguin Island. My mom is a good cook, but then at that time, wa man tay gatawagon nga chef, good cook ramang yun.
Yeah.
So ang nisunod dayon is akong third sister, man si Gloria, who started the Pots and Pans. And ako pod kana bitang chuchua-chuala sa iya gasunod-sunod ra, tanaw, tilaw, kanya
Alalay in short.
alalay, and then dala panaway.
Okay. So you're a
Yeah,
good
'cause like,
critic then.
I probably would say so because like I would know what would click and what would not. So
Mhm.
especially kay sa pastry man ko, I started with like actually pastry. Siya po dayon pastry then sudan iyaha, which I
Okay.
also eventually ventured into sa pagluto.
Okay.
So kato siya from that time on dito gyud ko nakakaton sa iya og daghan. But then there are a few heirloom recipes nga gikan sa akong mom which
Okay.
I am so happy I was able to get hold of. So, mana, padayon na dayon ta diri. And then,
May we know some of
I
them?
come again.
May we know those heirloom you mentioned
Like
them?
akong mama, she would cook very delicious pochero. The adobo, like it's actually like a blend of Chinese and Filipino cooking. And then right now, I'm also happy to say that my second daughter is also into this passion.
Oh,
So she's my teammate now, and
okay.
also my third daughter, who's taking college units from home.
Mhm.
So she had a lot of spare time. So now she's helping us. So it's like three people online,
Three-man
if you call it
team.
business. Yeah, team. Right, right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I've also
It's actually what do you call this? It's a recreational classes. That was
okay.
before the COVID time. Yeah,
Okay.
I used to teach at the Courtyard by Marriott in New York, in Manhattan,
Okay.
and that's where I would teach. Like the maximum is about 20, 21 to 26 students. These are
Okay.
mostly professionals.
All
Like kasi
Americans or
hands-on, yeah.
culture?
It's hands-on. Kay kadaghanan man gud dire, most people after their work at 5 o'clock, especially
Mm-hmm.
work from
Mm-hmm.
8 to 5, muuli na, and sometimes they want to unwind. So they go to a
Mm-hmm.
bar, they drink, they just socialize. But this one is a different concept. So the concept here is like rather than just going there talking, why not learn something? Paying for it, learning and eating at the same time.
Okay.
So mostly nahimo na nilang murag panihapon na. Oh, so
Okay.
ga-enjoy sad sila. And in fact, I had a couple of students from Cagayan de Oro and I was so surprised.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But ito that we know nga daghan gihapon ang nakaila sa imo because of your being strict as a nursing teacher, professor,
Instructor. Yeah.
instructor. So every time nga magani ka sa Cagayan de Oro, whenever we take photos, a lot of people will comment nga ang pinaka-stricto nga nursing instructor. Are you really that terror, chef?
Yes, I would consider
Oh.
a disciplinarian
Okay.
because in nursing you have to be disciplined.
Mhm.
What I'm trying to instill in them is like, for example, if a patient comes in and tell you like, I don't like you, would you just leave the
Okay.
patient? No, you have
Okay.
to work it out with the patient. So you have to have a lot of patience. You have to love what you're doing
Mhm.
and like helping people. So mo na siya, and then I guess that was my way of giving them this um, kind of support also in so many
Mhm.
ways nga when they go to the real world, this is the real thing.
Mhm.
Dili kay lamlam na tanganas
No
libro
sugar
na no.
coating. No sugar coating.
No sugar coating. Yeah. That's why funny kasi like once ma-under na sila sa ako, ang
Mhm.
incoming students, ilan na silang i-brain I would not
I-brief.
even say the word brainwash.
I-brief
Ilan
na
na nang
daan.
nga, bantay mo ana niya. But I don't really care because I mean I knew I was able to make a mark in their
Mhm.
life as a nurse.
Okay.
And I'm happy about that because like,
Mhm.
the last few years I've been having, students commenting like, so sir, kung di pagyug ka, it's
Correct.
makapatambok sa kasing-kasing ug sa
Yeah.
atay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's showing a tough love.
Yes. You love them, but you have to discipline them.
Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Are you giving the same discipline towards your children, especially that they're all girls?
of course, but
Okay.
not that terrorizing thing that you can think of.
Okay.
It's more of fatherly love,
Mm-hmm.
making them understand what's going on,
Mm-hmm.
especially outside.
Okay.
Because like the real world is tough.
Mm-hmm. Can
And
you
I think being in New York is a good start for all of us.
okay.
Mhm.
Can you say that you're a good father?
I would think so.
Mm-hmm.
I would think so because like I have a nurse,
Okay.
I have a culinary graduate
Okay.
here, and I'm proud to say she
Mm-hmm.
how would I say that? She got the honor of a summa cum laude graduate.
That's great.
Now my third daughter is taking up forensic psychology, and
Oh.
she is always in the dean's list. So I think
Oh.
it runs in the genes.
Okay. I like that. It runs
so
in the gene.
so I think they're pretty good. Yeah. Hmm.
Mm-mm. Are there some challenges that you went through working as a nurse abroad?
Oh yes,
Were
there's a
there
lot.
no
What?
have you experienced that you were bullied because you're Asian
Oh
or
yes.
you're a
No, not
Filipino?
because I'm Asian. The funny thing is, I was bullied and I was harassed
Mm-hmm.
and all those negative things by a
Mm-hmm.
Filipina.
Oh,
That's the worst thing there. Yep.
okay.
I think she has a problem with males because when I
Mm-hmm.
work with my coworkers, they're Americans.
Mm-hmm.
They would keep on telling me like, "You used to finish fast. How come you're not done yet?" I said,
Mm-hmm.
"You know, I don't want to name her name anymore,
Mm-hmm.
but she would ask me to do things that nobody does. She just
Okay.
was like, giving me the hard work, and I
Okay.
would do it happily. And I guess
Okay.
that makes her more angrier.
Mm-hmm. Very
So I don't care.
sad.
Anyway, God sees whatever I'm doing it right.
Exactly, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. So are you telling us that there's still a lot of crab mentality
Oh,
even
yes.
abroad?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
That you're
You know,
supposed to
like,
back up
mm,
your fellow Filipino, but still you're pulling them down because
down.
you don't want
Yes.
them to go up that ladder.
Ha- Probably that's some of the reason. Some of the reason would probably be just like there's this complex that they have in
Mm.
themselves. Like
Okay.
I should be it, I should be the one. So
Mm.
I don't care. Anyway, your job, you just go to your job, you work, you come home. That's it. I mean, don't bring your problems from your workplace to
Mm.
home.
Mm. Mm. Where do you
Hmm.
get your strength from? I mean, from those type of instances at work at the workplace, where do you get the strength from to really move forward and just don't lean on those negative things?
I think number one is God.
Okay.
He's been there for me, and I would always say everything happens for a reason. And I would also say because I worked as a psych nurse for a long time, so I know and I
Mm.
would sense that a person has problems once they do things their
Mm.
way.
Okay.
In psychology or psychiatry, manggod, every time you do something, meaning ana,
Mm.
kana bitang awayon ka paghuman awayon. Example lang, love-hate relationship.
Okay.
Awayon ka sa imong bana, sa imong
Mm.
uyab, niya pagkauman, bali ugma, tagaan kag roses, tagaan kag, it's undoing. That's, no, it's, sometimes I wouldn't even say it's acceptable, but
Why?
it's not also
Why is it not
unacceptable
it's not acceptable?
because sometimes that's what we call as romanticized violence. Because like,
A discrete form of
uh,
violence, are you saying?
yeah, because it's like, okay, now I hurt you today, I
Okay.
kicked you, or I shouted at you. The
Okay.
following day, I'll be very sweet to you. That's a cycle. That's
Mm.
abusive. So it
Mm.
goes on and on and on if you let that happen,
Okay.
because that will always happen and that will come back again. But
Mm.
kita manggod Filipinos, we are always like, oh, mao nang gihatag sa Ginoo, or something like, this is mao man akong palad. No, you can't do that. You have
Mm.
to do something about it. Mao bitaw karon daghan na kay ng mga, you call for people who are, ano tay mga hotline.
Yeah, yeah.
Like for example, yeah, buttered children, buttered
Mm.
wives, buttered chicken, kana lami no nakaunon.
You always go back to food.
Okay, of
if
course.
if there's one food that you personally like, unsa ni siya? But before you answer that, we have to
Mhm.
take a break for some of our commercial break. Diskarting Pinoy will be right back. All right, we're back here sa Diskarting Pinoy, of course, with Chef Ed Dichauco from Bronx, New York, USA. Chefy, our
Mm.
last question was, unsa ang imong personal favorite food? Since daghan na magid kay kag libo-libo na ang imong nahimo nga mga food. Okay.
Maunay pait kay tanan paborito man.
All
But
right.
if you were to, yeah, I guess it's in the mood.
Okay. So
Kay na may mood,
if it's winter, unsa ang favorite food ni Chef?
definitely sabaw, noodles.
Okay.
Spicier, the better.
Okay. Summer food.
Summer would probably be fried chicken
Okay.
or pizza or pasta. That would be
Okay.
very nice.
Mm-hmm. And when spring.
Spring, it would be something there. Spring, alam mo pud kaunon manggod na. You know, like Chinese food is an all-around thing. So anytime in the year.
Okay. I remember you with Bernie, with Marcel, and with Prospero, you prepared that.
Mindanao daily. Mindanao daily. Mindanao daily.
Um, let's talk about family.
Yes.
I know you're very close with your mom. So how
Yep.
was it like for how many years now? 3 years that she's
For
four,
almost five, almost 5.
almost 5 years. I know you get strength from her. So how is it like
Very
now?
much.
How is it like now?
Um, Chinese culture.
Mm-hmm.
We put the picture at home.
Okay.
So I would offer prayers, I would offer food,
Mm-hmm.
you know, using incense.
Mm-hmm.
And I always believe that she's always around me. I don't know, people would be skeptical about this because, like, when you talk about fortune telling or psychic thing,
Mm-hmm.
but I know I have been to a few. You know, I know this is unchristian, but then, hey, it's not something that I really put myself into it. It's for fun. So
Okay.
anyway, quite a few have said like there's an old lady around me, or there's this. My mom was born in April 27, so that
Okay.
makes her, I think, a Taurus, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they would always see that there's this old lady or Taurus personality around me.
Okay.
So I would always say that's my mom. And so far, like the last time after she passed away, I applied for a job
Mm-hmm.
as a traveling nurse. And I don't know, I was sleeping that night and I would have my interview the following day.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, in the middle of the night, I know I was awake. I was wide awake, but I didn't move at all. I could smell Johnson's baby powder, and that's her favorite powder.
Oh.
And I smelled it really, really within the area, within my bed. And as I started to move, it went out. It went puff. I mean, like,
Mm-hmm.
nawala na din siya.
Okay.
But naagyod. So I felt like she was telling me, you'll get the job. You know, that kind of feeling.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Perhaps she was hugging you then
I probably think so.
to
Yeah.
assure
That's why
you.
I'm scared to do. That's why I'm scared to do anything bad because she'll see me.
How
Funny.
much do you love her?
Uh, Say it again.
How much do you love her?
Oh, beyond words, beyond everything.
Mm-hmm.
She's there. I know she's always there for me, and she's been a guide when I was a kid until I grew old and until I got married.
Mm-hmm.
She was like a person who I can talk to.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not as often as I should have,
Mm-hmm.
but right now that she's gone, I felt like she is always behind me or besides me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like I don't know. I don't know how you could explain that, but I felt like it's a good feeling though. It's a good feeling.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know people would say you have to let go,
Yeah,
but then there are things you can't let go. There
you
are things
cannot.
that you have to hold on.
Absolutely not.
Right. Right.
Relate.
I know. I know how you feel too.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
right.
We often talk about it when you're here in the Philippines.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, like, as I've said, like people, it's there's so many dimensions, there's so many
Yeah.
things that's going on around the world. So you actually don't know where to believe. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, like, it's yours. It's yours to believe.
Okay.
So if you believe in that, why not? I mean, as long as you don't hurt anybody,
Yeah.
go ahead.
So
Hmm.
how do you transcend this relationship to your mom with your own children?
Oh, they practically grew up with their grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
So they also have this special bond between my mom and them.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, my youngest daughter used to sleep with her while
Oh.
she was a little child
Mm-hmm.
until she was like grade five, grade
Mm-hmm.
four, I think.
Mm-hmm.
She used to sleep with her like when my mom would go to the house, because she also lives with my sister. So when she goes to our house, my daughter, who usually would sleep with us, would go down and sleep with my mom.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they respected their grandma also as much as I do. So
Mm-hmm.
they would always, whenever they see some old lady running around, walking around, and she'll say like, "Oh, she looks like grandma," that
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So, Sheffy, right now we've seen your post on Facebook that you've been cooking the siopaw thing and the Filipino food and selling it
Yeah.
to whom?
Um, Mostly it would be Cagayanon.
Oh,
I would probably say 80% are
of
like
your
my
customers.
students,
Oh,
my nursing students before,
uh-huh.
and the 20% would be like friends,
Okay.
friends of friends. Yeah.
Okay. Are you a good friend?
I can be your best friend. You treat me well, I treat you better.
Okay.
That's how I would look at it. But
Mm-hmm.
once you do something bad, depending on how bad it is,
Mm-hmm.
I might forgive you, but depends. If it goes on and on, well, you have to put a stop on it.
Mm-hmm.
But I can be your best friend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
You
yeah,
knew me
yeah.
from a long time
Yes,
ago.
yes, I know.
Yeah. And that was like 20 years ago, I guess. That's telling our age now. Forget it.
Let's move forward.
Okay? Yep, right?
Anyway, so there, why are you not selling it to others like foreigners perhaps, so that they can
Um,
have a taste of Filipino food?
I was being asked by a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
to leave these products in a Filipino store or a Oriental store.
Oh, okay.
Yes, which I could, but the problem is I am alone, and
Mm-hmm.
what I'm trying to say is like I don't have a real sidekick who could help me.
Okay.
So what if they would order like 1,000 of this or a
Yeah.
500 of that?
Mm-hmm.
I could not deliver.
Okay. But
So that's the
that's a good start, I guess, for you
yes,
really to
yes,
ano.
it did.
Uh-huh.
Actually, I've been shipping most of my products
To
to other states.
oh, okay.
I've been shipping them to California,
Mm-hmm.
Texas,
Mm-hmm.
Pennsylvania,
Okay.
um, Illinois,
So with this
Florida,
number of
Maryland.
with excuse me, chef, with this number of stores, why won't you have your own store instead?
Uh, a lot of paperwork. It's not
Okay.
easy. Like
Mm-hmm.
my brother-in-law, who's also a chef here,
Mm-hmm.
we've been talking about that years ago.
Okay.
And the one thing that he will always tell me is that make sure when you want to open a store, the facility or the area itself, the store itself, is already um, prepared
Mm.
or constructed
Okay.
to be a bake shop or to be a restaurant,
Mm-hmm.
because the expense here is big, like
Yeah.
putting on the line for the exhaust, putting the
Yeah.
line for the gas,
Mm-hmm.
putting the line for the drainage. That's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of expense.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So that is the only thing that's good, is if you can rent a
Mm-hmm.
place that has been foreclosed or that has closed down,
Mm-hmm.
and you just move in.
Mm-hmm.
That would be the best thing, but it's not that easy too because of the location.
Oh, okay. So you don't have any plans of putting up another business here in the Philippines? Food business on that matter.
I don't know. We'll have to see when I retire, maybe.
Ah, so you're retiring here.
I could be. If you become my partner, I guess I'll stay
Why
back. I'll
not?
go back.
Why not?
Yeah, right?
Let's get that done.
Right. Okay.
Oo. And but do you really have uh plans of going back the soonest?
For now, like just like everyone else, who grew up in the Philippines,
Mm-hmm.
we still have friends back home. We
Mm-hmm.
still have families back home.
Mm-hmm.
But my real family is right here.
Okay.
So the thing that would probably happen would be for me to go there for a while, come back here. As long as my legs are still good and my mind's still good.
Mm-hmm.
So let us travel.
Don't you have plans of putting up an online class for Filipinos back home for them really to start up like with the pandemic thing? A lot of people lost their jobs, and a lot
Mm-hmm.
of people needs really livelihood.
Yeah.
Don't you
But
have plans of? Mhm, yes, please.
funny thing, you asked about that, because like I am actually, it's under negotiation. I'm just
Okay.
waiting for the guy
Mm-hmm.
to do the shoot. Like but we have started the works already, so
Okay.
hopefully we will come up. But the problem there is, like, should I speak in English or should I speak in Tagalog or in Bisaya or a mix? I
Mm,
mean, like, what would be my
yeah.
audience? Would it be like the whole world or the whole
Mm-hmm.
Filipino nation and, all over the
Mm-hmm.
world?
Yeah.
I don't know. So that's like a step to be taken.
Perhaps start sa dialect
Dialect.
for Cagayanons first, and then you grow,
Mm-hmm.
we'll start from
Pwede.
there. 'Di ba? Para at
Pwede,
least
pwede.
pag naanay following, then we go global.
Right.
Oo.
Manang tubag nga, sure, why not?
Kay
English
daghan
yapon
manggod
to.
yun ang gapangita, or who needs a lot of, actually ang gapangitaon na manggod ana sa mga classes is the tips and the techniques,
Right.
correct? Kay
Exactly. Yeah.
the same raman ang the way maghiwa, the way
Right,
maggisa
right,
sa
right.
food,
Ang pagluto
correct?
yun.
Oo,
Mm-hmm.
oo. So it's the
Mm-hmm.
tips.
Yeah, yeah.
Oo, oo. Are you generous?
Pwede.
Are you generous, chef, with your ideas? For the people to know, because personally I
Yeah.
know you
Mhm.
are. So for the people to
When
know,
I
Chef
when I used to
Dichauco, generous with ideas.
yeah when I used to teach cooking and baking at my shop
Mm-hmm.
along in Divisoria,
Mm-hmm.
I would have students come in and say, "Oh, I want to enroll in all your subjects." I said no.
Okay.
I said start with one
Mm-hmm.
and then try it at home. Come
Mm-hmm.
back for the next class, or if you want more ideas, come back. But then I would not recommend them to take all the classes all at once, because first of all, you have to master what you've learned first.
Mm-hmm.
Now, but what happened is I have had so many students who come in,
Mm-hmm.
like for example, cake decorating. The next thing I knew, they're already accepting orders. They don't come back for a further class because
Okay.
I've been giving them tips. It's like tips that you won't learn from books.
Okay.
some people, some teachers I know would say like, come in my next class or attend in my next class because I won't tell you everything. I mean, if you ask, I'll give you the answer. There's nothing wrong with that. So I would say I am very generous.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Chef, how do you handle criticism? But before you
Uh, the,
answer that question, we will have to pause for a break. Okay, kani. How do you handle criticism, especially katong mga bashers nato? Diba? Dili man gyud kalikayan nga. There are really people because we can't please everybody. So how
right.
do you handle them? But before you answer that, we will have to pause for a break. Diskarting Pinoy will be right back. So we're back here sa Diskarting Pinoy with Chef Eddie Chauco. So Chef, with our last question kaganina before
Yes.
we paused for our commercial break, how do you handle criticism and bashers?
Okay, it's hard question, but I guess the thing there is we have to make sure why they are bashing you. The underlying reason. Probably ano sila kana bilang nagselos.
Okay.
It could be. I've had a lot of that. Like some people would say like during my time when I was in Cagayan, they would say, "Oh, ano man na kanang iyang ana order ana po nga." But there's no truth to it. And if there is, I would take it with a grain of salt because what happened is you learn from it. If there's really if there's really something wrong, then you learn from it. You correct your mistake and try not to do it again. And I guess you have to like head on. Imugi na silang istoryahan because like I know I've been there and I started quite a lot of stuff in there in Cagayan. I initiated a lot. I innovated a lot. And of course, like people who would come in eventually, they would do their thing and they would have to promote their product. But again, as I've said, like if your product is good, people would come back to you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
On a lighter note, pwede ba nato makita ang portions sa kaharian? Ang portions of your kitchen where you do all the stuffs of all those
Yes,
delicious
sure.
food. Can we
Okay.
have
Gamay ra niya because this is like a
yes.
home-based thing.
Okay.
Mura sa ni siya og may tabo o mura siya og a little
Haven for you.
sari-sari store.
Okay.
Okay,
Your
let's
pantry
go
is
around.
a little
Okay.
sari store.
Okay.
Can
So
we
here
see?
I have mga, if you can see this, mga stocks, like going down. This is like mga veggies na ko. And of course, we have noodles. Noodles always part of our life here.
Okay.
And then, kani akong marag side table before, ano, ako lang ipaot ang anong camera ka dito, ako ibalik, pwede?
Okay.
Para
Yes,
lang
please.
maklaro.
Yes, please.
Oo,
Yes, please.
para makita yun sa ang video sa ako. Kajut, there. Okay.
Okay.
There. So, this is the basic things that we do in our cooking. So I have the spices and everything. And then this is my little stove here.
Okay.
So kanina suga of course kay America biya ni so nagyud ni exhaust pero kaning exhaust wala siya gawasan. So naragyapon.
Okay.
So mo ni akong steamer nga paborito nga item.
So din ha ang
And of
mga
course,
siopaw.
Diri ka kay tabo og diha.
Okay.
Not diri diha, gikanaog ko na siya pero wala magamit. So, tuyokon ta ni, mo ni akong freezer, refrigerator nga gamay. Okay? So, puno ni gubot. Gubot kay puno. Ang bugiro no puno. And then I have a little door right here that goes out, murag sunroom.
Okay.
But because it's winter, bugnaw kaayo. Karon it's like 0 degrees karon. It's really very
Can we
cold.
see what's
But
outside?
Can
we see what's outside that door?
It's dark. There's no light.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So nadiha akong mga normally like mga kung inani ka bugnaw, I'll have my pork, my chicken, whatever outside. Pero kung medyo mo lower down ang temperature, I have to put it in. But for now puno ni siya kay bugnaw man karon kay winter. So kani akong mga baking stuff, mga walnuts, mga ube, yung coloring, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And then I have that bread maker up there, which I haven't used for quite some time.
Okay.
And then this is my chef's table,
Mm-hmm.
favorite area of the kitchen, because this is where we do our bread and cake. And I have my mixer here, and I also have
Mm-hmm.
another mixer there. That's a 6 quart, and this is a 5 quart. And
Oh,
then, as you can see, I have all my ingredients, also some here. And
okay.
then, tinida yun mga trays. There's a
Mm-hmm.
window which we don't open unless it's summer, para
Okay.
may hangin, kay tugnaw man. And then, tuyok ta dire. Okay, na ako'y isa ka air fryer. Mao man
Okay.
karon in thing.
Yes, it's
So,
the in
murag
thing.
pas-pas gyud siya. Pero, murag apiki gamiton sa Pilipinas because of the currents, the
Okay.
kuryente. Okay? And then kini sa sulod are my, mga sauces which I use
Mm-hmm.
when I cook. Kanang madali-dali ra man gud na kay
Okay.
kung sa ato pa kung from scratch kadugay.
Mm-mm.
So at least kani may nana, and then ako'y mga
Instant.
butang-butang sa taas.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is the sink where I would wash. Nagamay ra gyapon, but
Mm-hmm.
we have to make use of it. So kani mga gadget, and then
Okay.
mga paper thing, and then kani morning
Okay.
morning ang mga dagko man gyud kay diri. So like ang sani kaning plastic wrap, aluminum foil, so mga kanang permi na mo gamiton.
Okay.
Milk, condensed milk. So nakakita ka, Pilipino gyapon ta kay natay Century Tuna, Pure Foods, 555 sardines,
Mm-hmm.
mga ano gyapon, Vienna sausage.
Okay.
So it's here, kini diri akong mga sana, mga plato, kutsara, tinidor.
So
So this
you
is
you
it. This is the
spend
only kitchen.
most of your time there, I suppose.
Yes. And the other place that I wanted to show you, if you don't mind, is the dining table.
Okay. Can
You want to
we?
take a look at it?
Yes, please. Can we do it
Sige.
briefly?
Oh, nagluto di kong siopaw, and I was just about to,
I hope that can
look.
be shipped
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, there
Oh,
you
that's
go.
so
Mm-hmm.
yummy. The pots and
Oh,
pans siopaw.
so
The
so we
original
go to the
thing.
kitchen. So we're going through sa alley, and then
This is the
ako lang
first
ipanghinang.
time that your pantry and your dining area has been shown
This
to
is
the
my
public.
dining area, and this is another
That's a
space
full
where I
dining area.
stay more.
Can we
Yeah,
hop
so this
in
is where
now?
we eat. Huh?
where can we hop in now to Bronx
Come in,
because
come in, come
we're
in.
starving with
Right.
all the things that you're
Sure.
showing us.
I can also give you coffee.
Oh,
See, I have my own coffee now. I mean, coffee machine.
okay.
So this is like, so I put it right beside the
Can
table. So
can
I
you
put,
can you can you instead sit down on your dining table
yeah. So like this is where I would say
there?
here.
Okay.
So
With
you see
that,
some of the stuff that I prepared just
yes.
to just to make you
Drool.
laway-laway,
Yes, we're drooling actually right now. So, chef,
right? Yes.
um, how would you want to be remembered as Cagayanon living in New York? As a parting message for our viewers.
I would want them to remember that there was once a pots and pans started by Gloria
Mm-hmm.
and followed by me, and that we have made a lot of people happy.
Okay.
We have made a lot of people smiling. We had a lot of people making them remember the food that they had,
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
especially like a lot of food that they have started. Because when we started that way back, we kind of like brought in a lot of food from Manila. Kay Manila pa man gito ang ano tanan.
Mm-hmm.
So like the siomai, the lumpia,
Mm-hmm.
the asado roll, the baked siopaw.
Mm-hmm.
I mean everything, the food that we have. So mura ba og mahitabo nga this I don't think I mentioned this. When I first arrived New York, not really when I first arrived, but after a couple of years when I became
Mm-hmm.
more active with the Cagayanons,
Mm-hmm.
funny when they see me, they would call me, "Oh, Pots and Pans is here. Who is si Pots and Pans?" That kind of thing. So they don't even remember my name.
Yeah.
But funny because like they're mostly in Queens, and when I do attend some activities there, they would remember me.
But
And at that time, they would ask me, "Would you cook? Do you cook? Do you can we order? At the time, I just came back, so I was like nothing. I don't have anything yet. So now that I'm here, I also have a lot of clients from Queens again. So that's good. That's a start also. So Mona, parting words:
Yeah.
eat, be happy, enjoy life, for you only live once.
Amen. On that note,
Right?
daghan kaayong salamat sa atong garbo karon nga bisita sa Diskarting Pinoy, Chef Ed Dichauco gikan sa Bronx, New York, USA. Chef, salamat kayo sa imong oras.
Thank you so much also for this.
Okay.
I'm honored.
Okay.
Thank you. And I
Thank
hope to
you.
see you again
See you
soon.
soon. See you soon.
Yeah.
Huwag mong
Either you
kalimutan-
come here or I go back home.
Yes. Go back home first. Then we go back there together. All right?
Okay.
Okay,
All
on
right.
that
Thank you
note-
so much. Have a good day.
Thank you, Chef. On that note, manghigala mo kato ang kagayanon nga tuan na karon sa Bronx, New York, USA si Chef Ed Dichauco dinhi sa Diskarting Pinoy. Ako si Maylin SISON, hangtod sunod simana. Maayong hapon.